Hey, what's up, everybody? So I just got my free trees from Arbor Day Foundation. They sent me a couple seedlings, young little trees. But I got 10. So I got a couple sporadic ones. I'm going to put them around here. So this is what I did get. So far I have planted, what did I plant so far? What's yellow? Let's see. The hawthorns are over here. So I've got one here. And then one more over here. And then over here, I've got one of the crapemyrtles. And then on this side, this has to get removed. Right over here is the other crapemyrtle. And then a little further down there towards the apples, we've decided let's put the crabapples. So let's head over. And then here is Sargent Crabapple 1. I know, they're tiny. And over here is Sargent Crabapple 2. And then behind me are my apple trees. So the fun part about this is, even though they sent me these, I'm not going to plant the dogwood and the redbuds because I do not need any more taller trees than I already have surrounding my yard. I need full sun for all of my other fruit trees and stuff that are here. But back here in my backyard, from this line all the way down to there, whenever it rains, it floods a good amount. It gets full of water. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So more trees the merrier back along this line to suck up this water, and hopefully that'll be less flooding issues for me in the past. But these are also nice trees that I do like. The colors of the redbird and the crapemyrtle are very pretty. And then the crabapples, they're tiny, they're edible. We make lots of jam, so they'll go cool with the apple trees and such that are over here. So there's a couple apple trees on that side too. They'll probably get moved over to here, or we'll graft a couple new ones and stick them in here. And then I have a few more legit size trees coming from the Arbor Day Foundation. 2 full-sized apples, a red delicious, a yellow delicious, semi-dwarf, and an Alberta peach, and something Haven peach. Not sure, but those are going next to the other peach tree that are over there. I want to get a bunch of apple trees and pop them in here. Maybe a Jonah Gold, and a Liberty, or a Williams Pride, and have just a different array of apples on this side of the yard. Since this is the back, there's apples galore here. So fig trees that were transplanted from limbs. Here's the big fig tree. It's going to need a nice pruning this year. We're going to cut down a lot of this one, clean out a little bit of the inside. Fig pop and air layer, a whole bunch. As you can see, lots of figs were left on, never turned towards the end of the season. A little sad. Spent a lot of time growth getting up this way, so I'm going to prune it back to about 8 feet total from ground up. See what it comes out like the following seasons, but then I'll have a ton of cuttings to share with all of you. And the blueberries are over there. I wanted to move these because this is a low sun area that's becoming this way. I got to start getting ahead to prune these trees. This tree is definitely coming out no matter what. But I did want to move these all the way down to the other side of the yard because that's an open full sun area. And that's where a bunch of new fig trees, blackberries, loganberries, all those types of bushes are going in that area down there. So I wanted to move these there, but I also don't want to transplant them and bother them because they are probably maybe 7 or 8 years old. So I'm not sure if I really want to bother you. You have been here and not given me fruit the last 2 years. It's either a peach tree or apricot tree, something. It's one of them. I never know what it was. They were tiny and white, so they looked like little white peaches. Never sure what came about them. Gonna hope that it grows something again this year. If not, we'll cut it all the way back, but hopefully adding in the other 2 peach trees around it will help it. And then these are the other 2 apple trees that unfortunately aren't getting as many apples on them as the other two bloom with. These do need a pruning too, shorten it down, cut a limb. But this is the same age as that one, and that guy's tiny. He's about 18 feet. He's about 8 feet. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. That's an older, well, he's whatever that tree was, pecan or tree of life or whatever it was. I don't know. I had cut him down. He was thin. He was blocking out sun, but he's starting to grow back again too. But I'm eventually just gonna take him out at the stump. I want to put different trees back here along this line, especially if these apple trees I can't transplant, but if I can figure out how to get some more sunlight through, I might put in some apple varieties that are better with partial sun, some shade, stuff like that. And then we'll go from there. So that's really it for today. So hopefully within the next week or so, this Arbor Day Foundation shipment of the other apples and peaches will show up, and we'll get to putting those in before the ground gets harder. There's supposed to be a winter storm coming this week around Thanksgiving, so we'll see. We'll see. Everyone's saying, yeah, you gotta wrap. I can't wrap this tree. This tree hasn't been wrapped in about 8 years, and it pukes fruit, so we're not gonna touch that. These guys were limb cuttings from out of here. So anything that was growing horizontally like this guy, I had cut all at the base. I was able to pop it out with the spade shovel. They came out of here actually. So they came out with a root system, put them right in the ground right before the winter. And this year they all came to life spring and into the summer. This guy started with the growth and the fruiting a little bit later. This one had at least 8 pieces of fruit on it, which was kind of cool. And then this one was a little bit of a younger one. Grew tons of flowers, but didn't do much. So probably wrap this little guy. These two didn't wrap last year, and they were fine. They're also from 7-year-old pieces of limb that I had cut off, so they're okay. They're not gonna do anything. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what can happen before this frost. And then hopefully come springtime, we'll all see the new corner over there. It'll be fruitified most of the time. So lots of fruit along both sides of the fence, fruit trees, the berries, and then in the middle there's going to be a garden, a little hoop house with a couple raised beds. And if not raised beds, then some of the 20-25 gallon cloth buckets or grow bags and things like that. So lots to come, hopefully, and then the new fence along the front on both sides, and then we'll get to going. But yeah, I want to make sure that the kids, have something to look forward to in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Pick your own apples in your yard. They do with these. Pick their own figs. They do that. They eat the blueberries. So I want to have the fruits here. I want things to be necessary, and I don't want to have to continue going to the store. So have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Have an awesome fall, and hopefully we check in again before we hit winter. Hey, Luna, you coming? She's just gonna hang out there all day. She loves the cold. Have a good day, everybody.